Here before too long. Hey everyone. Today we get to interview Jeff Ignatowski. He lives up in Cincinnati, right, Jeff?
Absolutely.
So happy to have you on board. So just to get started, tell us a little bit about your dojo, your school, and kind of how you got into martial arts.
I have actually been around martial arts since I was about 6 years old. I'm now 35, and I've kind of went from one end of the spectrum to a completely different end of the spectrum, and all back and forth. I started out in Tang Soo Do, and I got my black belt in that by the time I was 13. Loved doing that. Got into Taekwondo and Hapkido as well. And as I was doing all that, I was also involved in boxing. So I did a whole gamut of stand-up when I was really young. I started boxing when I was 7.
Wow.
And as I got older, it just kind of naturally evolved into doing mixed martial arts and kind of adding everything together and getting in there and really trying to put the different disciplines together and figure out what worked best. So now I currently teach at the University of Cincinnati, and I teach some MMA striking classes where we combine Muay Thai, kickboxing, American kickboxing, Dutch kickboxing with also some groundwork and some wrestling. And then we mix some karate in there, a little bit here and there to kind of round out some of our kicks. I love to use back kicks and side kicks. And then I run a small personal training gym from the house that I like to use. And then I have my business down in Costa Rica where we do retreats down there, and we bring people down for a week long, and we do martial arts, fitness, and yoga down there on the beach, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, that does sound like a lot of fun. You know, just because the business in Costa Rica on the retreat side is probably more unique to you than any other school owner I've talked to and everything else. Tell us a little bit more about that, because that's an interesting concept, everything you're developing there.
Yeah, so the idea really is to have kind of a getaway where we can go and not have to forget about training and stuff. And you can go down and you can focus on this whole health and wellness kind of idea and reset yourself. So you go down there, and depending on what kind of program you want to do, because we offer 3 different programs, we offer the martial arts based program where we have our regular curriculum that we do. We do a lot of mixed martial arts training. We'll do some kickboxing, some jiu-jitsu, some boxing, some wrestling, some Muay Thai, and we put that all together through a week-long package. But if other people want to come down there, we've got some friends and stuff that do Kempo and things, and they want to come down there and they want to do Kempo. They don't want to do mixed martial arts. They don't want to put on boxing gloves and beat each other up. So then we gear it more towards the Kempo side of it, and we'll work with somebody that is from that style to come down there and run that part of the retreat so that they're getting their practice that they want, which is why we've expanded it not just to mixed martial arts, but also to martial arts in general. Because I have some friends that do Taekwondo and Hapkido that want to come down for a retreat like that. And we'll bring somebody down there, or one of them will come down there and lead the rest of the class, and then we'll introduce them to some of the other arts that we do, whether it's Jeet Kune Do or one of the forms of kickboxing that we do. And then we also have our fitness retreat where they come down and they do fitness, or we have our yoga retreat where they come down and they do yoga. So in a nutshell, the practice is you get one morning retreat, like one morning workout, a conditioning session, and then in the evening, we do a technical training session. Whatever discipline that might be for that day, we'll get out there and we'll work that specific discipline so that everybody gets some new stuff to play around with. And when they go back home, that they can introduce that into the other guys that they're training with.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, especially now that we've had all this snow sitting around here. I know, I got buried down here where I'm at. So how do you go about marketing that and getting people to sign up for this trip down to Costa Rica for a week of martial arts training and physical fitness?
I'm sorry?
How do you go about getting people to understand what it is you do down in Costa Rica and just get them to sign up, really, the marketing behind this trip and retreat?
That's one of the things that's always a struggle because we're a very small business to begin with, and figuring out how to market appropriately something like that is always a challenge. So we're always kind of looking for innovative ways to do that and to get our name out there, get our brand out there. One of the ways that we do that, of course, is social media, because social media is huge right now. People are always looking at that. We have our website, warriorvacations.com, that we use all the time, that people can go to. They can look at their trips, they can contact us, they can set things up, they can email me and figure out some kind of plan for that. But we have pictures and stuff that run through all of our social media with our website and our hashtags and all that stuff on it. And then I write for a couple magazines as well. So there are times where I get to talk about the business, and I get to add that into some of my articles that I write.
You've mentioned a couple great things in there. Social media being huge. Can't tell you how many school owners I've talked to where they're not on social media, and I'm like, well, gosh, y'all are missing the boat here. Writing, another fantastic strategy to get people to do that. So just looking through your process, because this is something I know a lot of dojo owners struggle with, is not only the marketing, but once you get people interested in your product and service, how do you actually get them to pay you money for it? You got any good tips on that one?
That is always the challenge, especially when you're talking about something that's fairly high dollar. We're talking about a week-long vacation that people are going to take. We're not talking about a monthly fee that they're going to come and train. They're going to come to us like once a year if we're lucky. They may only come down to us one time ever. And we've got to figure out a way to convert that and convert people that they reach out to come down. So it's a big challenge for us to really get that. But I think the way that you do that is you over deliver. You have to be able to give people value, and it's not just what you think is valuable, but it's perceived value. So if I have people that want to come down for a yoga retreat, and I'm offering an ebook on the 25 wisdoms of Buddha or something, that particular target market is very interested in things like that.
Yeah.
So that is perceived value that's great for them. It may not be great for my martial artists because they might not care about that. They just want to go down and break boards and throw people into the water. So you have to be able to give people what they value, whatever that may be. So one of the things that we try to get right now for our fitness people, we teamed up with a company called Wear Bands. It's a wearable resistance training product that I love. I've been using it for the last couple of years. I actually use it because I race competitively in obstacle course racing and endurance running now. So I use that exclusively to train with, to keep my legs, as strong as possible so that I can run. Well, one of the things we've done for everybody that comes down there, fitness, martial arts, or yoga, they all get a free pair of Wear Bands. It gets sent right to their house. They don't have to worry about it. It's a small bag that fits right in their suitcase. They can bring it with them. It weighs maybe less than a pound. So it's not an issue to carry it through customs or anything else, but they bring it down there. And when they get down there, we do specific training sessions with that. Now,
Nice.
whether that's martial arts, we're using it to kick, but that is something that we provide some value. It's I think the product itself, if you bought it on the market, is $130, $140 or something. Getting it through us, it comes with the trip, so it doesn't cost them anything additional. We take the hit on that, and they get that, and they come down, they learn how to use it, and they can take it home and use it for the rest of their life.
Oh, that's wonderful. You mentioned several good tips in there. One that I always use, and I teach this to all my clients, both in dojos and construction, whatever business I happen to be in, is over-promise or no. Over-deliver and under-promise. Well, I'm totally butchering that, but that's okay. Everyone hopefully gets the idea of what I'm going for with that one. but over delivering is so huge, especially when you say adding value. People just don't just want stuff, they want value added. And
Yeah.
partnering with another organization is another great tip. You know, optometrists can partner with dentists. In fact, one of the dojos I keep accounting books for has partnered with an optometrist who's in the same shopping center. They keep their cards and they pass stuff back and forth. And whenever you can find an industry or another business that is complementary to what you do, you can say, hey, let's work together because we're after the same folks. We both have a product that complements each other. Great. What can we do? How can we work out? And those are tremendous partnerships because you can use their database and great things happen through that. So,
well, no,
go ahead.
one of the things that we do too while we're down there is we work with an adventure company that's there about 20 minutes away from our location in Capos. I'm trying to think of the name of them now. I can't think of the name of the company. Anyway, we work with them, and they actually they do all of our adventure tours. So if somebody wants to go zip lining while they're down there, they want to go rafting, they want to go kayaking, they want to go canyoning, mountaineering, whatever they want to do while they're down there, they can go and talk to that adventure company, and they give them a discount because they're with us. So that's another thing that we can do that makes it the vacation even better, that we're able to offer some of that stuff, and people don't have to just go out and find it on their own. They can work right with those guys. They pick them up at our hotel, they take them out, they go and do their thing, they come back, they get their evening training session, and it's a complete immersion in that kind of healthy, fit lifestyle that we want to promote. So partnering with those other businesses that don't always do exactly what you do is great, because one thing that I've found in business is I can't do everything well. I can do a few things well. Everything else, I need to find the people who do that already and allow them to do what they do.
Yes.
Because I'm going to screw up.
That's it exactly. When we look at time management and everything else, that is so important to use people that are great at what they do that you're not so good at, and saves you tremendous amount of time, energy, and effort to do the things you're wonderful at. Love it. I love it. So if you could look back over the years you've done martial arts, your business, your trips to Costa Rica, how you teach at the university and everything else, if you could boil all that down into 3 solid tips for someone who's maybe looking to get into martial arts, get into a business ownership, maybe owning a school or something else like that, what would be your top 3 top 3 tips and strategies to tell that person?
Number 1, find a mentor. Find somebody that you trust, that's further down the road than you, that can work with you and show you which way to go, because they will save you from a million pitfalls along the way. It is so easy to get caught up, and we all have this idea that our business is the next big thing. It's going to break out and everybody's going to love it. They're all going to come. We're going to make $1 million. And it never ends up being that way. That happens so few times.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. It's why we have, for every 100 businesses that open, 150 close. It's just the cycle of things. We tend to jump in with both feet, and we don't know where we're swimming yet. And getting that person that can really guide us and show us, hey, this is kind of the direction you need to go, is so helpful. And it's so important that if you don't have that, you're already setting yourself up for failure. You need to have somebody that can tell you, this is a dumb idea and you need to not do that. And really, that's what it takes. It's not just somebody that's going to cheer you on, but it's somebody that's also going to be there to kick you in your ass when you're doing stupid stuff.
Yes.
Because, we really struggle with that, because we always think, as an entrepreneur, you always think that I have the best idea. I could never be wrong, and you are an idiot if you think that. Because I have failed so many times at so many things, and I'm constantly reinventing myself and trying to figure out a better way to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So number 1, get a mentor. Number 2, never be afraid to change. I think that's the second mistake that we really make is we get this idea of this is how the business is and this is it. And we never are willing to evolve or to think outside of the box. I just had a conversation with my dad a couple of days ago about this. And I told him some of the things that are happening in my life right now. And I just got an opportunity to start running and do endurance races and stuff in other countries. So there's a possibility that I may go to Spain this year to run for this one company and write articles about it, about my experience there. And my dad said to me, he said, "Man, that's kind of getting you away from the whole Costa Rica thing." And I said, "You know, Dad, it really isn't." And he said, "How do you figure that?" I said, "Because of this. Because our ultimate goal at the very beginning was not to run it just in Costa Rica. Our goal was to take this idea of combining martial arts, fitness, and yoga with ecotourism and be able to run it anywhere in the world. You know, to go wherever we want to. We could go to Spain, we could go to France, we could go to England and run it off of the tourism that they already have there. They already have there and be able to run this idea there. What this enables me to do to go to these different countries and run and meet people is that I can network. And now I can meet a larger group of people that I didn't know before. So now my idea of the business, you know, hasn't changed per se. It's just evolved. Now
Yep.
there's another avenue that I can go. And I think we make a big mistake as entrepreneurs when we don't allow that to happen. We put a ceiling above what we're going to do, and then we keep banging our head against the ceiling, and then we think, oh, why aren't things happening the way that I want them to? The problem is that businesses are a living, growing organism, just like children. They
Yes.
constantly change. They get older. They like different foods. You know, our business has to be willing to evolve and to change and to mold with the times. It's one of the reasons why I hate to say this, but traditional karate schools have done a nosedive in the last 15 years. They've really had a lot of trouble because a lot of traditional martial artists are unwilling to adapt with the trends.
Hmm.
Now, I'm all for keeping tradition, and you know we need some of that because there are people that love that. But at some point, we need to realize that we have to grow with the community that we're serving. Boxing ran into the same problem. You know, when mixed martial arts came out and everybody was jumping on the mixed martial arts bandwagon, boxing started to die. It really struggled, you know, and the gyms that find success have mixed the two together. They're not just doing boxing solely anymore. They may be focusing on their boxing and using that, but they're also doing groundwork. They brought in instructors to do that. So they're
Hmm.
meeting a larger target market instead of just being with this small market. So you got to have a mentor, and you got to be able to open your mind to other ideas. And I think the third thing that we really need to do to be successful with that business is we got to network with people. You know, we have to be willing to get out there. And I know a lot of martial arts instructors, and we tend to get in there and for whatever reason, a lot of them are very serious and they have a hard time really getting out there and meeting and networking with other people. I don't know what that is about the community, but we've got to be willing to get out there. And it's not just within our own martial arts community. You know, this is a business that we're talking about. You
Yeah.
have to be willing to get out there and talk and network with a wide variety of people. You never know who somebody else knows. Uh, you know, I don't know how many times the reason why this whole running outside of the country thing even came about is I also present nationally for fitness. So I did an event with the Women's Fitness Association a couple months ago, and the keynote speaker there was a guy named Harvey Lewis. Harvey Lewis is the number one ultra marathon endurance runner on the planet right now. He won Badwater last year, which is 135 miles through Death Valley in the hottest
Woo!
month of the year.
Woo!
Amazing, amazing guy. He happens to live here in Cincinnati, And I've kind of known him like very passively. I've met him a couple times before then, but I'm a networking whore. I'll raise my hand and say that right now. I go out and I network with everybody that I possibly can. So right after his keynote address, I grabbed him on the side and I said, Harvey, dude, man, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while, but guess what I'm doing this year? And I start telling him about all the different races and all the my business and everything. And he says, man, that's great. We need to connect. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So we connected. I sent him one of my articles last weekend, and he came back and said, dude, I own this running company. Have you ever thought about running outside of the country? Absolutely. I'd love to, and you really never know where it's going to come from and where your conversations are going to lead. So you have to watch out. Number one, you always have to be positive because there's nothing worse. People remember certain things about you when you meet them. They either remember that you're the most miserable person to be around, or you're a lot of fun and you're a very engaging person. They usually remember those two extremes. So if you're having a bad day that day and you just want to sit in the corner, people will remember that you didn't want to talk to anybody and you wanted to sit in the corner. So, we've got to go out there and be positive and upbeat and really enjoy what we're doing and share that with people. And in business, we get scared a lot of times that, man, somebody's going to steal my idea, or they're going to do this, or maybe they can do this better than me. The problem is that nobody's going to do it at all if you don't get it out there and start connecting with people that can get it done.
Yep.
Because I can't do everything. I have got to find the people that fit in the puzzle piece that I call warrior vacations to make this thing go. So it's my job as the entrepreneur to put those puzzle pieces together to make a whole picture. And the thing that I have found that works the best in leadership is not doing it all yourself, but finding the people that actually can do the job. Because if I found out one thing in the last year is I am probably the worst marketer that there has ever been. I don't know anything about what people want. I always think that I do, but I don't know anything about it. Like every time I try to implement something, I'm like, hey, man, this is going to be a great idea. Nobody likes it. How do you not like that? But the thing is, because I like it, doesn't mean that anybody else is going to like that. I like to go out and run for 60 hours and jump over walls and crawl around in the mud and the dirt. Most people don't like to do that stuff, or so they tell me.
Oh, it's great. I mean, those are fantastic pieces of advice. A mentor is invaluable. I know I love my mentor. He kicks me around the butt every now and again, but he keeps me pointing in the right direction. In the businesses I mentor, it's a fantastic thing. And I almost encourage folks to sometimes look outside of their industry for a mentor, because mentors inside an industry typically know the industry, but they are very low on ideas because they're not exposed to anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a mentor for sure. Always read is another one of mine, and you mentioned that in there. Always learn, grow. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes and learn from them and keep going. That's fantastic advice, Jeff, that I'm sure a lot of the viewers and listeners of this video will enjoy. So thank you for that wonderful stuff. So for our viewers, if you want to know more about Jeff, want to contact him, his website information is down below in the description to the video. Feel free to get a hold of Jeff, and I'm sure he'll spend some time chatting with you about some of his ideas because, like you said, he's a network whore, so reach out to him, get to know him. Find him on LinkedIn, Facebook, and wherever else. So, Jeff, thank you for your time today. I do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, man.